guys, so in this video I kind of wanted to go over the way I use the nitrous to spool up the turbo in this car. I've never really gone into it, like explained exactly what I do as far as, you know, getting it up on the trans brake and all that. So let me go ahead and shut the bottle off here. And I'll go over some of my settings in the ECU to get to get it to do what I want. So first of all, what I'll say is without the nitrous, this is just a 1J, which is 2.5 liters, and without the nitrous, and a 64 millimeter Borg Warner turbo. So without the nitrous, I can't get this car to like stage or come up on boost on the trans brake. Okay, so I run a TH400 with a trans brake and a PTC converter. The PTC converter is kind of made for like 2Js, and it's their high stall RPM, you know, high RPM stall converter. So it stalls pretty high, like up in the 5,000 range. Like right now, I have my launch RPM hard cut set at 5,400. Okay, so right now I could actually raise that too. So that just tells you how loose the converter is for this application. But that being said, I still can't get it up on the trans brake without nitrous. So I'll go through like the little strategy I use in the in ECU Master software. If you go to the nitrous parameters, okay, so what I do, hopefully you guys can see this. Maybe I'll zoom in if you can't see it, or if I can't see it when I'm editing, I'll zoom in on it. But oh no, that's the launch control, sorry, the nitrous, want the nitrous. Okay, so basically the first one is your active, whatever, you know, you check that and it makes the nitrous active, and it gives you two inputs. One is the input to activate it. So you're gonna put 12 volts on that and it'll activate your nitrous. And this is your output. So that just puts out like a ground that goes up to 5 amps. So you would want to run that to a relay, and then your relay would run to your nitrous solenoid. Okay, and that's what controls it. Okay, so my activation minimum load is 50 kPa. So basically the lowest I can have that is where I have it set. So it'll activate at 50 kPa. Where I have it turning on is with the throttle position sensor. Okay, the throttle position sensor has to be at 61% throttle in order for it to turn on. Okay, and the activation RPM, I have that set at 1500 and deactivate at 7500. Basically, my rev limiter is at like 7200, so I have it past my rev limiter. I didn't want it to deactivate, you know, at all with RPM. So the way I'm controlling it is with the map sensor. Okay, so at 50 kPa it'll turn on and deactivate at 250 kPa. So right now, the way I have it set on the trans brake, it's making around 270 kPa roughly on the trans brake. Okay, so as it's coming up, as you can see here, I got my the little log that I just did on that little pole you guys saw. It says here that it peaked out at 305, but if you look at the average, it's like 260, 270, 280, 260, 270. Okay, so right in there. But you can see the nitrous comes on right. This is my nitrous active, this blue line here. Okay, so right now it's not active, and then once I get to 66% throttle, it turns on. Okay, now it's starting to build RPM, and as it's building RPM, it's starting to build boost. Okay, this is all happening in around, I don't know, 3 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds. And then as it's building boost, it gets up to 258 kPa right there, okay? And then if you come down and look, right now, if you just go past that, it turns the nitrous off, okay? So once it's making boost and the motor's making power, it can hold on to the trans brake. It can hold the converter right there. The nitrous is just to get it there. Okay, and then once it shuts off, it maintains it. It'll hold that RPM, it'll hold the boost and all that without the nitrous. Okay, so now there are times when you can just run the nitrous all the way out, so I could reactivate it, you know, as far as after I launch. If I want to reactivate it, we could do that. I know there's a strategy in there for that, but or I could just leave it on all the time. So I could raise my map up to my, you know, whatever I have the duty cycle and the boost controller set at. I could raise it up past that so my nitrous stays on the entire time. Right now, before I was doing that, but I'm making a lot more boost now, and it's a little less safe to make, you know, 35 pounds of boost and be on the nitrous as well. That's a little sketchy, especially with a stock 1J. I don't think I want to do that. Maybe for a Hail Mary pass or something, but definitely not to something that is going to stay together for very long. So like I said, it's just basically to get the motor up onto the converter. Okay. I don't have any kind of a bump box or anything right now yet, but that's where that would come into play. So then once it came up on the converter, and you're in the first bulb, then you could actually, you know, bump it in, you know, with the button over here to stage. Okay. So yeah, that's basically how it works. Pretty simple. Most softwares have this in it. I know the Holley does. I know all the other ones do. Haltech, Fuel Tech, all those have that built into it. So, and there's other things you can do with it too. You know, you can override the wastegate, okay, which is what I am doing. So I have that checked. So basically if you go over to Sport, Launch Control, and then we go to Wastegate Override, which is right here. Okay, Wastegate Override. So this table, what it does is, whatever you have your boost controller set at, when you have that box checked, it'll override it. So it'll ignore what your boost setting is normally, and it'll follow what you put in there for launch control. So I have it set at 0. Okay, and the reason I do is because I'm doing it off of the spring. And what's crazy is it just tells you how, you know, how bad my manifold is, how inefficient it is at getting rid of exhaust, because I have a 10-pound spring in there, okay, and it's making 25 pounds of boost on launch control. So that means that it just can't get rid of the exhaust enough, and it's just making boost. Now, do I think I can leave on 25 pounds of boost? I'm not sure. I've left on around 20 before, and it was fine, but I don't know if it's going to do it with this. We'll see. I don't know if it'll leave or if it'll hold 25 pounds of boost. We'll see. It's just a matter of time getting it to the track and finding out if it will or not. But like I said, I have that overrid. Now, if I wanted to, I could add duty cycle here if I wanted to. And adding duty cycle to that would obviously, during launch control, it would raise the boost. So yeah, that's going to be something we're going to have to address down the line, because I know I've said this before in another video. Let me get out. Trying to get this video done before this storm hits me. But I know I've talked about this before in another video about you know, wastegates and stuff like that. But your manifold design really determines on how much you can how much exhaust you can get rid of. Okay, so it's this manifold. It's a CX manifold. It's not the best thing in the world. So whatever spring I put in there, like I have different springs for my wastegate. It's a precision 46 millimeter wastegate, and I got a variety of springs here that I can use, and it's always almost double of what the spring is. So if I put a 10-pound spring in, it makes around 18 pounds of boost on, you know, just on the gate. So yeah, and even on launch control, it's even harder because you're burning fuel outside of the exhaust chamber or the combustion chamber. You're burning fuel outside of it, so it's exploding outside the exhaust. I keep saying that wrong. The combustion chamber, and it's spinning the turbo even more. So that's why it's really hard to control. So I'd have, in order to control that really well, like I said, I'd have to get a different manifold, something, and maybe even like dual wastegates. That's why you see that a lot of times. People have dual wastegates, so you can really dial in your boost to get a good launch, and then you can slam them shut whenever you're going down the track. But anyway, that was kind of what I wanted to go over in this video. We can go over a couple other things that I've done. I built this little, I told you guys about the PVC hood prop I had. I went ahead and built like a little hood prop here with a little piece of steel that I bent that way and then bent that way, and it fits there and there, and yeah, looks pretty slick. I can I might make something here. Okay, I might make something here to clip it. I don't know. Just so that I have it, you know, handy, but or I could just throw it in the truck. It doesn't really matter. But so yeah, hopefully that kind of explains how to spool up your turbo on nitrate with nitrous. It's very effective, and you know, it comes up in like 2-3 seconds. It starts making boost. Without it, it just sits there and bogs, and you know, it won't even try to make boost. So, you know, that's just because of the way it is. It's a big turbo, small displacement. You know, Honda guys have the same problem. So, all right, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Just wanted to go over that, share that with you. Hopefully it helps you maybe working on your settings. If you have any questions, throw a comment. You know, I can share more of my settings with you guys on how I set that up. But anyway, that's gonna do it, guys. Thanks for following this build. Check you all later.